She called me boring, traded for bad boy. I started dating her sister instead. My girlfriend said I was too boring, so I let her go out with the bad boy while I went out with her sister. Now she's begging me to come back to her. Throwaway account because this whole situation is a nuclear disaster and half our friends are on Reddit. Plus, my ex might figure out it's me, but honestly at this point I don't care. I'm 28 years old. My girlfriend Amber and I had been together for 2.5 years, and I thought we were doing well. We had a comfortable rhythm that I really loved. Netflix and takeout during the week, brunch on Sundays at a place with incredible Belgian waffles, occasional weekend getaways to wine country. I brought her coffee in bed every Saturday morning. 2 sugars, oat milk, exactly how she liked it. The basic boyfriend stuff that apparently counts for nothing. I thought I was being a good partner. I remembered all the important dates. I surprised her with little details. I helped her move apartments. I drove her to 5 a.m. flights. I was more involved than I'd been with anyone before. After work, she'd come home with stories about her creative director who rode a motorcycle to work. Her coworkers led incredibly cool lives, full of art openings and rooftop parties. At first it was just work chat, but I started to notice when her tone changed, when the story stopped being about work achievements and started being about how adventurous and exciting her coworkers were. And the comparisons began. Derek from Creative saw an art installation in Brooklyn, an immersive experience about grief. When was the last time we did something cultural like that? Pablo is so passionate about his band. They play at a small venue in Queens, and he writes songs about existential anguish. It's inspiring to see someone pursue their dreams, you know? Maybe we should try something more adventurous. Sarah's boyfriend took her to a speakeasy with no sign. You have to know someone who knows someone. They made cocktails with herbs grown on the roof. Way more romantic than our usual dinner and movie scene. I started to feel like I was auditioning for the role of boyfriend in my own relationship, so I tried. I took her to alternative galleries and converted warehouses, to hidden restaurants in neighborhoods we'd never explored. I signed us up for a pasta making class with an elderly Italian woman who yelled at us in broken English. But nothing was exciting enough. The gallery was trying too hard to be avant-garde. The restaurants were fun, but not spontaneous enough because I had researched them beforehand. The cooking class was cute, but a bit touristy. Not passionate enough, not spontaneous enough, not enough. The final blow came at her company Christmas party 6 months ago. An industrial space in Brooklyn with exposed brick and Edison bulbs, trying too hard to be cool. I was talking to Cindy from accounting when this guy appears. Leather jacket over white t-shirt. Perfectly messy hair that took 30 minutes to achieve. Derek, creative director. So you're the famous boyfriend, he says, looking at me like I'm a piece of furniture he's considering buying. The weakest handshake I've ever felt, like shaking hands with a fish. But Amber was glowing as he told a story about doing ayahuasca with his artist friends in the Hamptons. You should come next time, Amber. You'd love the energy. Very creative, very free. Not everyone gets it, but I think you would. He completely ignored my existence, but I could see how she looked at him, the way she used to look at me. On the way home, she was quiet. Don't you ever feel like doing something crazy? Like what? I don't know. Dropping everything and driving to Vegas. Booking a flight to Paris on impulse. Something spontaneous that makes you feel alive. We can plan a trip to Paris. I have vacation days. She sighed like I had completely missed the point. It's not the same if you plan it. What's wrong with planning? Planning means we can afford it and enjoy it. But that's not the point. The point is spontaneity. The excitement of doing something without overthinking it. That sounds expensive and stressful. Another sigh. You're so practical. The way she said practical sounded like it was a character flaw. That should have been my first sign we were heading for disaster. The breaking point came 3 months ago. We were sitting on my couch, the couch I'd saved for months to buy, a beautiful leather couch I was really proud of. We were watching a British mystery series on Netflix that we'd been following for weeks. It was Thursday night. We'd ordered Thai food from her favorite place, and I honestly felt pretty content with our life. And suddenly she pauses the show and looks at me with a serious expression. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you think you're boring? The way she asked it, like she was genuinely curious and didn't want to hurt me, made my stomach twist into a knot. It was worse than if she had thrown it in my face directly. It felt like a question she'd been considering for a while. I don't know. Am I? It's just that we've been together for over 2 years, and sometimes I feel like we're already acting like we're 60. We order the same food, watch the same shows, have the same conversations. We've fallen into a routine, and it feels so safe. When was the last time you surprised me? Really surprised me. I surprised you with that mountain weekend last month. You told me a week in advance so I could pack the right clothes and ask for time off work. That's not a surprise. That's a plan. I looked at her, feeling something cold settle in my chest. What do you want me to do, Amber? I want to feel excited about my life again. I want to go out with someone who makes my heart race, you know? Someone who's passionate about something, anything. Someone who isn't so predictable. So predictable. I always know what you're going to say, how you're going to react, what you'll want to do on weekends. There's no mystery left. So what are you saying? She was silent for a long moment, and I could see she was gathering the courage to say something she'd been thinking about for a while. Maybe we should take a break. My first instinct was to fight for her, promise her I'd change, that I'd be more spontaneous, whatever she wanted. Tell her we could get through this, that every long-term relationship goes through periods where things feel routine. But there was something in the way she said it, like she'd already made her decision and was just informing me. But stop me. How long would this break be? I don't know. Just until I clear my head. And what exactly are you trying to clear? Another long pause. I could see her hesitating about how honest to be. There's a guy at work. Of course there was. I felt stupid for not seeing it coming. Derek, I asked, though I already knew the answer. It's not like that. We're just friends. But he's invited me out a couple of times, and I've been thinking that maybe I should see what else is out there before this gets too serious. Too serious. After 2.5 years of meeting your parents, talking about moving in together, discussing wedding dates. It's not breaking up. It's just exploring our options, seeing if the grass is greener, taking time to figure out what we really want. And if it's not, if the grass isn't greener, then maybe we get back together. But don't you want to know for sure? Don't you want to make sure you're choosing me and not just settling? Settling. That word was like a punch to the stomach. After everything I'd done for her, everything I'd given to our relationship, she saw me as settling. I sat there for a minute, processing. Part of me wanted to tell her to pack her bags and leave, have some dignity, and refuse to be her backup plan. But another part, the part that still loved her despite everything, wanted to give her what she was asking for. Maybe she just needed to get it out of her system. Okay, I said finally. She blinked. Okay, you want to explore your options? Explore them. But I'm going to explore mine too. That's fair, I guess. How long should we do this? However long it takes you to figure out what you want. She leaned in and kissed my cheek, and I hated that I still felt something when she touched me. Thanks for being so understanding about this. Really, I think it could be good for both of us. We've been together since we were so young. Don't you want to make sure this is right? Understanding? No, I was being understanding about my girlfriend wanting to sleep with another guy. Can you believe she did this? Before we continue with what happened next, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, was he right to agree to the break, or should he have ended it right there? Let's keep going. The following days were super weird. Amber stayed at her apartment. She had kept it even after spending almost the entire last year living at mine. And supposedly we were on this break where we could see other people. Everything felt surreal, like I was living someone else's life. She texted me a few times, mostly about logistics. Picking up her contact lens solution from the bathroom, a couple of books she was reading, a sweater she left in my closet. Each message felt like another small piece of our relationship being dismantled. Then, on Friday, she called me. Hey, Derek invited me to a gallery opening tomorrow night. It's a new artist doing installations with found objects and LED lights. I said yes. Okay, are you upset? Why would I be upset? We're on a break, remember? You're exploring your options. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. We are. Have fun. After hanging up, I stood in the kitchen staring at my phone. 2.5 years, and it was ending like this. Her calling me to ask permission to go out with another guy, or maybe not permission, just making sure I wasn't going to cause drama. I poured myself a drink and tried to figure out what I was supposed to do now. Should I download dating apps, go to bars, call ex-girlfriends? Everything seemed absurd to me. Then my phone rang again. This time it was Maya, Amber's younger sister. Maya and I had always gotten along well. She was 24 years old, in her final year of graduate school in psychology at Columbia, and she was as different from Amber as two sisters could be. While Amber worried about appearances, excitement, and being the center of attention, Maya was thoughtful, genuine, and confident in herself. She was beautiful in a subtle way. Natural curly hair, freckles on her nose, a smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. She was always kind to me at family gatherings. She never made me feel like I wasn't enough for her sister. In fact, she seemed to enjoy talking to me about books, movies, and ideas instead of just small talk. Hey Ryan, weird question. Did you and Amber break up? Why do you ask? She posted something cryptic on Instagram about new adventures and being open to what the universe brings, and Mom is losing her mind. Plus, she mentioned something about seeing other people when she called me yesterday. It got weird when I asked for details. I told her the whole situation, complaints about boredom, coworker, a break that was really just her wanting to cheat on me with permission while keeping me as a safety net. Jesus Christ, Maya said when I finished. I'm so sorry. My sister can be an idiot sometimes. It is what it is. No, seriously, it's not. You've been nothing but good to her. You know she used to call me to complain about her ex before you? That guy never remembered her birthday, never wanted to do anything but play video games, treated her like garbage, and made her feel lucky to be with him. And now she's complaining that you're too good, too stable, too perfect, apparently too boring. You know what's boring? Dating the same type of person over and over because you're addicted to drama. Dating guys who treat you like trash because you think that's what passion means. That's boring. We talked for another hour. Maya had always been easy to talk to, but this conversation felt different. Maybe it was because we were both frustrated with Amber. Or maybe it was because for the first time I was seeing Maya as her own person and not just Amber's sister. She was insightful in a way Amber never was. She asked thoughtful questions about how I was feeling and made observations about relationships and psychology that really made me think. Hey, she said as we were ending the call. I know it's probably the last thing you feel like doing right now, but there's a psychology conference downtown next weekend. Some very interesting speakers will be talking about attachment theory and modern relationships. Want to come with me? As friends, obviously. I just thought maybe you need to get out of the house, and you'd probably find it interesting. Yeah, honestly, that sounds good. The conference was fascinating. Maya introduced me to her grad school friends. Smart, engaged people, nothing like Amber's superficial work crowd. We spent the day listening to talks about cognitive behavioral therapy and social psychology, about how people form bonds and why some relationships work while others fail. It was the kind of intellectual stimulation I'd been needing without realizing it. During a presentation on compatibility in long-term relationships, the speaker talked about how couples who share fundamental values and communication styles tend to be more successful than those primarily attracted to their differences. She mentioned that while opposites may attract initially, similarity is what really creates lasting bonds. I looked at Maya, who was taking notes like the diligent student she was, and I felt something I couldn't quite identify. Afterward, we went to dinner at a small Italian restaurant Maya knew. Nothing fancy or Instagram-worthy. Red and white checkered tablecloths and a marinara sauce that someone's grandmother had been cooking for 50 years. But the conversation was incredible. We talked about the talks, her research, books we'd read, and places we wanted to travel. Maya had just returned from a semester in Barcelona and told me about the month she spent touring small Spanish towns, staying in hostels, and practicing her Spanish with locals. Can I ask you something? Maya said during dessert. Sure. What did you see in my sister? I thought about it honestly. She was fun, spontaneous. She dragged me to parties and events I never would have gone to on my own. She introduced me to new music, new restaurants, convinced me to try things that made me nervous. I thought that was good for me, you know? That it helped me be more social, more adventurous. But you're already social. You just don't do it performatively. There's a difference. What do you mean? Amber needs an audience. She needs people to see how interesting and exciting her life is. She curates her experiences for social media. You don't need that validation. You're capable of enjoying things for what they are without showing it off. Apparently, that's boring. No, that's maturity. You know how exhausting it is to constantly need external validation? I've seen it my whole life with Amber. She can't just enjoy something. She needs to make sure everyone knows she's enjoying it. She can't just be happy. She has to perform happiness. We talked until the restaurant closed. As we walked to our cars, Maya stopped. Ryan, yeah, I had a really good time tonight. And not just because we talked about my sister. Me too. Would you maybe like to do it again, but not as friends this time? I stared at her. Maya, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because you're her sister. This is already complicated enough. She's the one who decided to take a break. She's the one who wanted to explore other options. Why can't you do the same? Because it's different when it's family. It is. We're adults. We both know what we're getting into. She was right, and I knew it. But dating my ex's sister felt like crossing a line there'd be no coming back from. Let me think about it, I told her. That weekend, Amber sent me a photo from Derek's gallery event. She was wearing a dress I'd never seen her in. Something black and flowing that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. Leaning against Derek with a big smile. The caption said, "Incredible night with incredible company. Finally feeling inspired again. New adventures. Living my best life." I looked at that photo for at least 10 minutes. 2.5 years together, and I'd never seen her that happy. Not even close. Not on our best moments. Vacations, birthday dinners, parties with her family. She never had that glow. An hour later, Maya texted me. Saw the Instagram post. "Are you okay? I've been better. Want to talk about it? I'm free tomorrow if you want to grab coffee." We met at a small cafe near her campus. Maya was wearing jeans and a sweater with no makeup, hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looked more beautiful than Amber ever had in her perfectly planned outfits. "So," she said, settling in with her latte, "have you been thinking about what I said?" "Yeah, and I'm scared of ruining your family. My family is already ruined. My parents have been divorced twice. Amber's romantic history looks like a warning. And my brother hasn't talked to us in 3 years because he thinks we're all emotionally unavailable. Adding a little more chaos isn't going to break anything." Maya, look, I get it. This is weird, but we're good together. You know it. I know it. And honestly, after watching how Amber treated you for months, criticizing everything about you and making you feel like you weren't enough, maybe it's time someone valued you for who you are. And you do? Are you kidding? You're smart, kind, stable in the best ways. You really listen when people talk. You remember the things that matter. You're present. You know how rare that is. Rare enough to risk your relationship with your sister? My relationship with my sister has been complicated long before you came along. Amber and I have never been close. We're too different. She thinks I'm boring because I'd rather read a book than go to a club. I think she's exhausting because she turns every day into a performance. She reached out and took my hand. "I like you, Ryan. I've liked you for a long time, but you were with my sister, so I kept it to myself. Now you're not with her anymore, and she was the one who made that decision. So what's stopping us?" I looked at our hands together, and something clicked inside me. Maya was right. Amber had made her choice. She wanted excitement, adventure, and passion. She wanted Derek with his leather jacket, his underground art galleries, and his artist friends doing ayahuasca on the beach. Fine, she could have all that. "Okay," I said. "Okay, yes, let's do it. But let's keep it between us for now. I don't need the drama of your family finding out before before we know what this is. Maya smiled. Deal. Our first official date was that Wednesday. Maya chose a cozy wine bar in her neighborhood that I didn't know about. The kind of place you'd walk right past if you didn't know to look for the small wooden sign. Live jazz music, exposed brick walls, candles flickering on small tables. Nothing flashy or Instagram-worthy, just good wine and better conversation. We talked about everything. Her research on cognitive dissonance and how it applies to modern relationships. My thoughts on emerging technology and whether artificial intelligence will eventually replace human connection. The books we'd read, the places we wanted to travel, our fears about getting older, our theories about what makes people happy. You know what I like most about this? Maya said as we shared a cheese board. What? That I don't feel like I'm performing. With most guys I date, there's constant pressure to be on, witty, charming, perfect, have opinions about everything, and make sure those opinions are interesting enough to keep their attention. With you, I can just be myself. I was just thinking the same thing. See, we already communicate better than you and my sister ever did. She was right. Talking to Maya was natural in a way it never was with Amber. With Amber, I was always trying to say the right thing, to be interesting enough to keep her attention, to prove I wasn't as boring as she seemed to think. With Maya, the conversation flowed effortlessly. We could disagree without it turning into an argument. We could be quiet without it feeling uncomfortable. We went to her apartment afterward. Nothing happened. We just talked until 2 a.m. about everything and nothing. Her place was exactly what I would have imagined. Bookshelves full of books, plants in every corner, comfortable furniture that looked lived in, not catalog perfect. It felt like a home, not a stage. When I finally left, Maya walked me to the door. I like you a lot, she said, standing on her tiptoes to kiss my cheek. I like you a lot too. Same time next week? Definitely. I floated back home feeling better than I had in months. When I got to my apartment, I had a message from Amber waiting for me. How are you? I know this is weird for both of us. I looked at the message. 3 days earlier, I would have opened my heart to her. I would have told her I missed her, that I was struggling seeing her go out with someone else, that I wanted to fix things. But now, after spending the night with Maya, all I felt was nothing. I'm fine. Hope you're having fun. She responded immediately. Seriously, you seem pretty calm about all this. What do you want me to say, Amber? I don't know. I guess I expected you to be more upset, more jealous. Would that make you feel better? She didn't respond. Maya and I continued secretly dating for the next month. Every Wednesday became our night, plus weekends when we could. She introduced me to her grad school friends, and I found myself really enjoying the academic conversations about research methodology and statistical analysis. Maya introduced me to new restaurants, new ideas, and new ways of thinking about the world. The intimacy was also incredible, but in a completely different way than it had been with Amber. With Amber, intimacy felt like a performance, like she was always thinking about how it looked or sounded, or whether she was being daring enough. With Maya, it was intimate, real, focused on connection. She was present in a way Amber never was, focused on the experience, not the appearance. Meanwhile, Amber's Instagram was a constant avalanche of posts with Derek. Derek at the farmer's market with a melancholic, artistic air choosing heirloom tomatoes. Derek with his band playing at some dark Brooklyn bar, all leather, sweat, and dramatic lighting. Derek teaching her to ride his motorcycle, both in matching leather jackets like they were cosplaying Easy Rider millennial version. The captions were increasingly exaggerated. Living my best life and finally feeling alive again. And my favorite, sometimes you have to risk everything for love. No regrets. Follow your heart. Authenticity. Risk everything for love. I said one night while we were cooking at Maya's place. She always falls so fast and so hard. Maya looked over my shoulder at the Instagram post I was showing her. Amber and Derek at an underground club, both with serious, important expressions. Oh yeah, Amber is addicted to the honeymoon phase. She gets bored as soon as things become routine. So she looks for guys who seem mysterious and exciting. But the mystery is almost always just emotional unavailability, and the excitement is pure drama. How long does it usually take? With Derek, I give her 3 months tops. He has that whole mysterious bad boy air, but underneath all that leather and attitude, I'm sure he's as ordinary as anyone. When Amber realizes that, when the novelty wears off and she sees he has his own problems and insecurities too, she'll start looking for the next shiny thing. And then what? Then she'll realize she ruined something good and try to get you back. That's not going to happen. Maya smiled and kissed me. I know, but she doesn't know that yet, and she was right about the timing. 2 months into Amber and Derek's passionate romance, the Instagram posts started to change. Less enthusiasm about how incredible Derek was. More generic phrases about self-care and rediscovering yourself. Focusing on myself and remembering what really matters. Learning that sometimes the best adventures happen when you're alone. Grateful for this journey of self-discovery. Maya and I were having dinner when Amber posted a photo of herself alone in a cafe, looking pensively out the window like she was in an indie movie. The caption said, "Sometimes you need space to think. Growth requires solitude. Blessed on this journey of self-discovery. Trouble in paradise," Maya observed. I should feel bad that I don't care. You've moved on. That's healthy. And yes, I had completely moved on. Being with Maya showed me everything I'd been missing with Amber. Real intimacy, genuine compatibility, someone who valued me for who I was instead of trying to change me. Someone who didn't need our relationship trip to look exciting from the outside as long as it felt good on the inside. That's why I wasn't entirely surprised when Amber called me the following Tuesday. "Hey, stranger," she said, trying to sound casual but not succeeding. "How have you been?" "Good. You?" "I've been better. Listen, I was wondering if you'd like to grab coffee sometime, just to talk." "Talk about what?" "About us. About this whole break thing. I think I've learned some things about myself, and I'd like to share them with you." I almost laughed. Maya was literally lying next to me reading an article for her thesis while I answered that call. "I don't think that's a good idea, Amber." "Why not?" "I thought the point of this break was for both of us to figure out what we wanted." "I already figured out what I want." Silence. "Oh, you're seeing someone." "Yes." "Who?" Her voice became shrill. "Do I know her?" I looked at Maya, who was pretending to read but obviously listening to every word. "It's complicated." "What does that mean, Ryan?" "We were together for 2.5 years. I think I deserve to know who you're dating. We're on a break, remember? You wanted to explore your options. I'm exploring mine. But this was supposed to be temporary. We were supposed to figure things out and get back together. That was always the plan." "That was your plan." "I never agreed to it." I could hear her crying now. "Please, can we meet? I made a mistake. Derek isn't who I thought he was. He's actually pretty shallow and self-centered. He only cares about his image, his art, and whether people think he's cool. He doesn't care about me as a person." "I'm sorry to hear that." "You're sorry? You don't sound like you're sorry. You sound like you don't care at all." "I don't know what you want me to say, Amber. I want you to fight for me. I want you to care that I'm suffering. I want you to tell me we can fix this." Maya looked up from her article with raised eyebrows. "I can't do that," I said. "Why not?" "Because I'm happy. Happier than I've been in a long time. And I'm not going to give that up to go back to someone who thinks I'm boring. I don't think you're boring anymore. I realize now that what I thought was boring was actually stability, consistency, all the things I should value in a partner. But you don't value them. You value excitement, drama, feeling like you're in a movie. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not what I want. It could be what I want. I've changed." "No, you haven't changed. You just realized that dating a jerk isn't as fun as you thought. But in 6 months, when everything becomes routine with me, you'll feel restless and bored again." "That's not true." "Yes, it is, and we both know it." She was quiet for a long moment. "So that's it. You're just giving up on us. You gave up on us 3 months ago when you decided I wasn't enough for you. I'm just making it official. But I love you. I loved you too." Past tense. After hanging up, Maya set down her notebook and looked at me. "How do you feel?" she asked. Relieved. Good. She needed to hear that. Was I too harsh? You were honest. Sometimes honesty sounds harsh, but it's what she needed. The calls continued over the next few days. Amber left long, confused voicemails about how she had changed and how we could make it work if I just gave her another chance. She had mutual friends send me messages talking about what a great girl she was and how I was throwing something special away. Our friend Jessica called to tell me Amber was having a really hard time and that maybe I should reconsider. My friend Mike texted me to say Amber had asked him if I was seeing anyone. I ignored everything. 2 weeks later, Maya and I were having lunch at a small downtown bistro when Amber walked in with her mother. I saw them before they saw us. For a second, I considered asking for the check and leaving, but Maya took my hand. "No," she said. "We have nothing to hide." She was right. We were 2 adults on a date. We weren't doing anything wrong. Amber saw us about 30 seconds later. Her expression went from confusion to shock to pure rage in less than 3 seconds. She said something to her mother, who looked at us with obvious discomfort, then walked over to our table. "Are you kidding me?" Amber blurted out, loud enough for half the restaurant to turn and look. "Hi, Amber," Maya said calmly, without letting go of my hand. "How long has this been going on?" "About 2 months," I replied. 2 months. And we've been on a break for 3 months. You were dating my sister a month after we broke up. We didn't break up. You wanted to explore your options, remember? I explored mine. Not with my sister. "Amber, please," her mother said, appearing at her side. "People are staring. Let them stare. My boyfriend is dating my own sister." "Ex-boyfriend," Maya corrected. "And it's not cheating if you broke up with him first." Amber turned to her. "You've always been jealous of me. You've always wanted what I have." "I'm not jealous of you," Maya said in a calm tone. "I feel sorry for you." "Sorry for me? I'm not the one who has to steal her sister's leftovers. That's when I had enough." "Maya didn't steal anything," I said, standing up. "You discarded me because you thought you could find something better. Maya saw my value when you didn't. That's not stealing. That's having good judgment." "She's my sister," Amber retorted. "You're her sister. Did you think about that when you were posting photos of Derek all over social media? Did you think about how that might affect Maya? Watching you throw away someone she cared about for a guy in a leather jacket." Amber blinked. "She cared about you?" Maya stood up next to me. "I liked Ryan from the first time you brought him home for Christmas. But you were with him, so I respected that. You were the one who decided he wasn't good enough for you. You can't be mad that someone else saw his value. You're both messed up." "No," I said. "What's messed up is you believing you could put me on pause while you tried out other guys, and then expect me to still be there when you realized you made a mistake. I'm not a backup plan, Amber. I'm not your safety net. Ryan, please. We had something real. We did, and you decided it wasn't enough. That's not my fault. Or Maya's. It's yours." Amber started crying right there in the middle of the restaurant. Her mother hugged her and started guiding her toward the exit. "This isn't over," Amber said over her shoulder. "Yes, it is," Maya responded. After they left, Maya and I sat back down. The whole restaurant was still staring at us. "Well," Maya said, "that went better than expected." I laughed. "How was that better than expected?" "She didn't throw anything." "Good point. Are you okay?" Maya asked. I thought about it. Seeing Amber upset should have affected me. 6 months ago, it would have destroyed destroyed me. But now, sitting across from Maya, all I felt was vague compassion. Yeah, I said. I'm okay. Are you? I'm great. My sister has always been dramatic. This is just a regular Tuesday for her. Your parents are going to find out about us now. Good. I'm tired of hiding. We're not doing anything wrong. She was right. We weren't. The consequences came fast and were predictable. Amber launched a full campaign to turn everyone against us. She told anyone who would listen that Maya had seduced me while we were on a break, that I was a heartless jerk who never really loved her. Most people saw through it immediately. Our mutual friends knew Amber had left me for Derek. They'd seen her Instagram posts about her incredible new adventure. It was hard to play the victim when you document your own infidelity on social media. Maya's parents, surprisingly, took it calmly. Her mother called to make sure we were both okay and to apologize for Amber's public scene. Her father invited me to watch football the following Sunday, as if nothing had happened. Amber has always been the dramatic one, he told me during halftime. Maya has a better head on her shoulders. Treat her well. I will. I know. You treated Amber well too, even when she didn't deserve it. Meanwhile, Amber was in free fall. Apparently, things with Derek had ended badly. According to Maya, he left her for a 22-year-old artist he met at a gallery opening. Amber moved back in with her parents and started posting increasingly unstable rants on social media about fake people and family betrayals. She tried to get me fired by calling my boss and saying I was emotionally unstable after the breakup. My boss, who had met Maya at the company Christmas party and adored her, laughed at the attempt. One night, she showed up at my apartment at 2 a.m., intoxicated and crying, begging me to come back to her. I called Maya, who came over and helped me convince Amber to let her drive her home instead of having to call the police. She needs therapy, Maya said afterward. Professional help, not more drama or validation from social media. Will she seek it? I asked. Eventually, when she runs out of other options. 6 months have passed since that restaurant confrontation. Maya and I are still together, stronger than ever, actually. We moved in together last month. Her apartment had more space and honestly, it already felt like home. Amber is doing better, I think. According to Maya, she finally started seeing a therapist. She deleted most of her social media and got a new job at a different company. She's apparently dating someone new, a guy Maya describes as stable and kind, which is actually what she needs. She sent me a text a few weeks ago. Just one line. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're happy. I showed it to Maya. Are you going to respond? She asked. I don't know. Should I? That's up to you. But if you do, keep it simple. I thought about it for a day and then sent back. Thank you. I am happy. I hope you are too. She didn't respond, and that was okay. Because the truth is, I am happy. Happier than I've been in years. Maya and I are planning a trip to Japan next spring. A trip Amber and I never took because she couldn't commit to planning that far ahead. We're talking about the future, real future plans, not just vague someday conversations. We want the same things: stability, partnership, a life built on mutual respect and genuine connection rather than drama and excitement. Sometimes I think about how different my life would be if Amber hadn't asked for that break, if she hadn't decided I was too boring, if she hadn't pushed me away in search of something more exciting. And I'm grateful because she was right about one thing. We didn't need to figure out what we wanted. She wanted adventure and passion and someone who made her heart race. I wanted partnership and stability and someone who saw my value. She found what she was looking for eventually, and so did I, just not with each other. And honestly, that's the best possible ending.